confidence where the state they don't guarantee the people then. That alone give them the opportunity to say, before I go to court, make I handle my own way. I let me case give us, or I go do it in my own way. We move forward. We can get elections then. APC kind of power. SFPC kind of power. And the same thing where we drag into back in the 90s. Now that same thing we move into gradually. When situation happens, that are the only time we want to call on the moral guarantors in this country. Where the mosque, where the church, where the civil society, where the police, where the military, where the political parties. But we have failed to address the actual situation we make we reach that level when we call for them people that they now. The moment situation okay with you, all of the one that they will call will not care about it anymore. All of the one that will go cry for will not care about it anymore. This is not the only country, if you get sense, if you're not hypocrite, this is not the only country where I don't observe truly, where politics get influence over religion. In other countries, religion get influence over politics. But Salome, today, politics get high influence over religion. These are one of the biggest mistakes that we don't do as a country. We don't see examples. Elders in our church, then they drive them, terminate their membership from the executive or from that church because they fall, they not agree, they not meet eye to eye on political things with either the founder of the church or the leader of that church. Same thing for mosques. Religious leaders, imam, sheikh, and whatever title you call them, they don't grab the senior membership and ordinary members there. Now that mosque because of political disagreement for political view and political stance. We see that happen at the mosque, we not correct them. We see that happen at the church, we not correct them. And when politicians and the citizens get problems, the only people they rely on for settle that issue are the religious leaders. The religious leaders. They make most transitional justice, document them, with the truth and reconciliation, the one that which we had in most countries, the religious leaders. But this country, the trust, confidence, not there in any religious house in this country. Any. The politics influence religion. When religion is able to influence politics. For tell with politicians how politics a godly way and how to rule this country in a godly manner. We lost it because we left the door. Now we church and mosque. We leaders sell religion, give politicians. This is not the country where we want peace, but we no want for nurture peace. We want peace, but we no want for talk true. And no peace, no they where they go with hypocrisy. No truth, no peace. After the war, we invest so much in unskilled labor. That means if you want builders in this country, you don't get shortage of getting a young man that will do construction work, tiling, for blocks, for lay blocks, for where people make window carpentry. We get them in abundance. We get salamanders in abundance. We get, hairdressers in abundance. Because after the war, the quick fix, what will be there on? Now for fix we unskilled sector. Garage side, tailoring, machining, and others. Now, immediately after the war, another thing generates in this country, where the attire base. And this attire base, when it pop up, it goes to a larger extent in this country. It controls the community and the society outside the base base. So we get huge problem with that. They were never able to confront. After the 2015 census, so we say that 94% of Sierra Leoneans live in this country. And the 6% of others then, foreign nationals. And inside that percentage, the young population from 15 to 35 years, takes a large number. Then this attire base run and controlled by young people. We get 1,500 attire base in this country as from the last survey they will do. 1,500 attire base. And inside that 1,500 attire base, then there's 700 membership. 700,000 membership. Then get 1,500, then get 700,000 membership of attire base. The youth then where they use that attire base, now 5,500 young people, they use that attire base nationwide. Then the adults then where they use the attire base, now 1,500 young people where they use, and the adults. Then we come to the unemployed. Out of these 7,000 membership, 700,000 membership, you get 300,000. We got 300,000 young people then we not employ at all. We use that very attire base. Then we only get 50,000. 70 young people were employed, where as well they use their attire base. We go to the extent we get attire base for APC, we get attire base for SAPC, we get attire base for NGC, we get area and community attire base. We get 1,500 attire base. A smart government, a smart administration, it is transformed this 1,500 structured youth then into a productive form. Yeah. Now this country, when you are youth, you unemployed. the consideration of the public, the family member, and other individuals, they say, idle forces. It's wrong. Not all unemployed young people idle. These are the country where they don't believe in young people, where not self-employed. But the very country again, they celebrate other country young people then were self-employed and don't create employment for other people. Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook founder and CEO, he creates a new job for himself by building up Facebook. Sierra Leoneans celebrate that young man. Global people celebrate that. But Sierra Leoneans not they celebrate Sierra Leoneans where they create job for himself and create job for other people. But then we say we young people they idle because they not get job. Not all young people will not get job we idle. Now I don't give the statistics of entire base across this country. And the number of young people, 300,000 young people, they love the entire base. I don't think say a healthy society and a healthy security. 300,000 young people out of 700,000 membership. 300,000 now they don't get job. I mean, these are serious things. These are the statistics. You get 1,500 attack base across the country. Very serious. When young people don't get jobs, they say they're idle. But when another country, in your young person, be an innovator or an entrepreneur, create a job, we celebrate them. But we not celebrate with your young people then, where they innovate things, where one for create jobs and they self-employed. So they themselves can be role models to themselves and their communities then. Look at where government not do. Everything we focus on is politics. This country, your academic qualification is not relevant. Your academic qualification at this country is not relevant. Your knowledge, your experience is not relevant. You be an innovator is not relevant. You be an entrepreneur is not relevant as long as you know align with political party, you not get a political connection and blessings from the hierarchy of that political party. Immediately one party lost power, plenty business they close. There's plenty new businesses they emerge. The moment one political party lost power in this country, plenty business they close, plenty new business they emerge. It's not healthy for the peace of this country. Politics influence religion. That the pastors there, the imam there, no, there's no respect again at this society. We know churches at this country are mocked by the political party where they support. So the political party where they align with, now the leaders and other stakeholders that they invite for the religious programs there. So when crisis happens within the ordinary citizen and the government, you have nowhere to run. Only God. Only God. Because the church, the mosque, the leaders, even the members now then church and mosque. They don't look the elders and the leaders sell the mortgage. Sell the credibility, the integrity of that church and that mosque to a single political party. when we talk about human rights, we don't talk about some of the things where they disturb with you. Just some of the things where they disturb with you. One fundamental one, we religious leaders then sell themselves to political parties. We religious leaders in this country, churches and mosques, no one who can tell we say, largely, they may the majority. All the religious council bodies and where they set up, when you look at the leaders, then get connection with political parties. And even in the sermon where they preach, even the way that they talk, you clearly see a political biasness in them. So when trouble happens between the common citizens and the government, we not get a religious house. The one way they can be in favor of the government, how it will be against the people. That's the kind of one side we miss. We're not able to transform this attire base after the war. We'll get a large sector of attire base. Okada riders, they're going to attire base. Keke riders, they're going to attire base. All of the informal sector and formal sector folks go down to attire base. And the government, the political parties also accept attire base and fund attire base, support attire base. But they cannot help to transform the life of the attire-based structure into a developmental something where this country and economy will grow and peace can at this country. People say young people in this country, they're not happy with government. They're happy with the way things will go on. Yeah. That might be legitimate. But let's come to reality. When you get a grievance now you owe, unless you don't get respect for your papa. If you get respect for your papa, when you get grievance now the oath, now your mama there, papa not there. The head of that home is now your uncle they left in charge. Any issue there, you get for channel to your uncle, or you look for big person at the family and say that this na any more than me, I'm not happy. But you not do that. You burn the bed where you daddy they don't pan. You burn the chair where una they sit down for watch television or sit down for eat. You burn the television where they not the own. You left that off. You left that off. When you burn the chair, they inside the oath. You pour the pot, inside there they cook for you. Then when all inside the oath. You take her, you pour her. They drink the bucket. You take her, you broke her. You say because I don't like the way papa they treat me, I don't like the way mama they treat me, I don't like the way uncle they treat me. You left that oath. The reality is that when government fails to communicate the reality, the truth, when government fails to communicate that the product to them is the truth. Now this country we did budget hearing after budget hearing. MDAs they go with them budget. Some MDAs they ask for 6 billion. Then go get 1 billion. Some MDAs go ask for 16 billion. Then go get maybe 5 billion. The next other budget hearing, it will come. They can ask for more than what they did, even if they're lesser what they did ask. The finance ministers and we don't they read we budget in this country in the parliament, then they deceive we and call that big number. For sure say, government not ready for help. They don't put social money for young people then. You don't see the kind of money where they don't call up for help young man there, for help build hospital. So that kind of money. But if the last budget, Ministry of Health asked for 26 billion, for example, then government through the Ministry of Finance only able to give 2 billion out of 26 billion requests. With community, never forget the number of nurses, they will forget the number of doctors, the number of nurses. This country now we do. Hospital, community hospital, not the toilet, not the water. You don't think you're a human rights concern, right? Good for you. Now this country we did, a whole district, not get magistrate court. A whole district where there's a boat of over 500,000 people not get high court. This is access to justice. A whole community where they host over 30,000 people get 5 police officers at the police force. This all my access to justice. That of the criminal justice. We not tell them politicians they say, una kinde say, una they do this, una they do that. But even the budget una give this year, una not able to meet the demand of that budget. Why una they do that to you? If you not a wickedness, inhuman treatment, what una they do? We know the challenge. The church where you go, if now a party they in power, now then are the propagandists, and then the propaganda even the government invoke. Even the pastor of the Mango Territory a few days ago he been there with the president. The church and the mosque, the stakeholders in another sector, run go to politicians. Instead of politicians, run come for them, so there's for guidance. Then run go to politicians. Do you think it's a peaceful country? No? Young people, this country, we have to wake up. Young people and people of this country. Violence is not the any means of what we will achieve with goals. When we destroy, we build them. During the war, the January 6th invasion, the 1999 invasion, where really the thing came straight on and burned down the UN House, Treasury, police stations, and other public things there. Money we for don't use for build the quarter for the police there, for improve on the quarter. We take that we spend our own building police stations, quarters, and other things. The money we don't take for build bridges and others. We spend them for rehabilitate the health centers the way the labor and work. When you join politics, the best friend alive, that is religion. Not a go with politics. Religion, they guide politics. Not of politics, they guide religion. But this country, politics only guide religion because we religious leaders themselves to politicians. They preach politics in the church. They preach politics in the mosque. If congregation members go, they've gone, but they're going to host, but they don't get mind, they don't get the God, but challenge the authority in that church or that mosque. Why are you preaching politics? Why are you preaching politics? You for advise politicians, but you not for preach politics. That's not the role of the clergy in other countries. They advise politicians, but they don't preach politics. In Sierra Leone, our mosques and churches, our leaders in mosques and churches preach politics. When the disaster for them, people on their side will go complain, hey, we're the religious leader. No, they're not religious leaders, call them we're the politicians. We're the politicians. Because religious houses in this country have sold themselves to political parties. The systematic and widespread violence of late, recently, is nothing but political. It's nothing but political. Whether somebody wants my own business, why you can't arrest me, why you cost me whole day, whole net, than your own business. But the violence that this country has made is very recent. It's political. The thing where politicians of this country, when they're asking governance, it's quite different when they're in opposition. Then when they lost power, they go in opposition. It's quite different when they're in governance. Now this country, they see when somebody there in governance, they perpetrate all kinds of human rights abuse and violence on harmless citizens, innocent citizens, other than arbitrary arrest. So sweet. But when they are in opposition, human rights, they don't get respect for rule of law. They're not democratic. When they're in opposition, they cry the same thing. They want they are no democratic. They want they are no respect human rights. They want they are no respect rule of law. So this is the reason why makes you forget a trusted religious house and religious leader. Sadly, unfortunately for us, we have lost it. We don't have it. No. Politics controls everything in this country. Politics, businesses. If you want to get business contracts in this country, you get for politically affiliated, politically connected. And you for ensure that you support the political party or ministers, then about the way they behave on the opponent side. Same way, so if you're opposition, you want to destabilize the ruling government. Political parties and politicians spend on these 300,000 young people who are unemployed within our base. 300,000 young people will register as a member of our base. Then get 700,000. But 300,000 of them are not the work at all. No. So their politicians, they are go for some of them boys there, and even some of the ones that were employed are self-employed. They are the one that way they ride keke, okada, and then just buy them for themselves. Or the one that way get group where they go do building and construction work. When you say employed, not to say that the formal sector, largely the formal sector, now about 500, and they work in the formal sector based on the statistics we have. You accuse APC saying them to keep money, and you believe say they get that money, and you believe say you want to pull that money in their hand, and then the same way for young people for be more productive, So they don't go depend on politicians, they don't go depend on any stakeholder in the community. You know do one. So if FPC thinks that they want to take that money now and then go spend some of that money for create unrest, why do you think that not will be? For example, if that is the example, if that is the situation. Due process. Now, a fundamental pillar for the rule of law. Human rights. We are able to prevent conflict and violent conflict in any society. Now, they make make you get respect. Able to mitigate the situations. Another community. So, we get system then where we set up. But we still not able for left their systems there to operate independently. Even where people that were not actively in politics in this country. These are just the ordinary common man. When they arrest and go to the police, maybe for civil matters, they then send the police for CID for a number of days, weeks, or months. Yeah, we don't free somebody, we don't spend over 3 months on CID. We don't free somebody, we spend over 3 weeks on CID. We organization intervention. So I tell you about things we know, we are aware about, and we involve in. It happened under the immediate administration we passed. It is currently happening back under this very administration. We set up institutions that will be independent and provide public service for the citizens. But the same institutions that were we set up for, mediate their issues there. Now the same institutions there, they guarantee injustice fully to the same citizens. Where is the confidence to confide on state or authority? We get local structures. Therefore, go through the local structures. Which local structures we don't build confidence in the local community? When money comes, the elders they say, let the young man and go with, let the woman and go with, let them begin and with. They organize how then they benefit much more than the community. This has been a system for far too long. Before we war, after we war, and currently, with stakeholders and our community not able to guarantee the community members of confidence and trust. This is where we got it wrong. If we want for reverse, these are the morals that we need to take back to the community. Back to the community. They use the APC, SAPC, they don't want to give a chance for rule. They want they had no fixed power. The problem is with the community. The community and the community leaders. The government takes you serious if you are serious. A organized and respect community approach president, not the president and the approach them. No, that political leader and they approach that community. Not only community they can be that. a very well recognized, organized, respect community, where the leader respects the people, when the people respect the leader, that community, President one go there and let them tell her the example where they get, so that it will spread out and all the community, there will be an example. Hey, you don't have that in this country. No way. Chiefs see themselves as an oppressor to their subordinates. Youth leader see themselves as a king in that community. These are the youth man where they cry say, government not again the chance, government not again this instance. When this same government through the governance structure, youth council, elect a young people to be a youth leader in that community. When development go in that community through in hand, if they look for you immediate people than the larger youth in that community. If you say, they're in with one political party where they not so young people they go, they are not so young time, now they are just work with them. When we young time can, you go see, you go enjoy. This now the same youth man where they blame central government. So where that leadership responsibility from community level, where that confidence and trust, a young company use them, it's not that youth man no more, they call me, they go there, and we don't let that man, they can't talk to me. If not that man is queen no more, you call. We have this at community level. What problem? I don't know when I say church, mosque, community, the problem is. If we fix the mosque, the church, the community, we will fix the government. Because they are just representatives of political parties. And they emerge from their community, church, and mosque. Each of them. They don't come up sky. We all are money, and we all are religion. Diaspora, no diaspora, then as religion. When we fix with community, when we restore confidence and trust, now we community, confidence and trust, now we trust them more. Trust me, they fix this country. Man, we get very good innovation, but because you don't get a political, that young man don't get a political connection. Trust me, that innovation, they die. They don't look beyond the innovation, how many jobs this innovation will create, how many jobs, how many, economic benefits the state will get. You know why the conspiracy theory within the 5G sector is the job that China is going to create and how many billions of money, revenue, that China will gain from the 5G because they are the leading country in creating 5G, developing 5G. So America sees that as a threat. So the next thing they do, they tie the conspiracy towards innovation. When Americans know the social media, they generate so much money. They look at American innovators the way they get social media, then they get them to let them buy other countries. Citizens the way innovate other social media. WhatsApp is one. Yahoo is another example. The founders of Yahoo from Japan, so they made sure that said an American citizen buy another hand. WhatsApp, not an American citizen. They ensure that an American citizen go after that business and buy it and bring the revenue and the job creation to America. But yeah, when somebody innovates, we look at When I look about the job creation, young people then they get talent and that idea in this country. Look, 300,000 of them, the language na Arabic. 300,000 of them, according to the last statistics, what we get from the entire day. I can able to tell you each district how many entire days they get. Doing that survey. We know what makes use of the young generation when we get. We only want to use them for political gain. Like I said, if you get problem with your daddy at home, you big sister, you big brother, you go burn the television within at home, you go burn the chair owner, the dumper. If you Tombo community, the Tombo community, even before this, then they suffer for get access to health. Then they suffer for gain access to education. You will tell me, say, yes, schools are there. The number of schools, the overpopulation for the population. The health center are very small for that population. The police post very small for that population in that environment. So if una not get, then una they look say una not get, then the best way for express una grievance now for one go and burn the police post, damage the health center. The money where they for don't spend on for go build pipe bomb water for them. Then they go spend now. When the season they come, now people then go become homeless. The one where they protect the community, not the police. When I say when they kill them, when I don't want them live. When you get problem with the big sister, they born you daddy or also you daddy rest, or also your mama rest, they born us. The chair they waiting at the palace, they born us. Then when you don't born them, they tell you say you're proud of that family. I mean, we as a Sierra Leone, if anybody want for kind of power, want for dinner power, want for control or protect a looted fund, there are better ways to do it, more civilized ways to do it than that. The government, they overlook these things. I mean, Lonsa, same pattern. Burn police, broke the police window. Steal the meter. Vandalize the office. Burn motorcar the way exhibit them within a police hand. Go to chief compound. Burn the chief in motorcar. And vandalize a home. And kill his brother. Travel from Lonsa to Tomo. If the government no work within the established law for stop this lawlessness in this country, when we slip into any war, the leaders are responsible. The one that will fear the war, the one that will fail for take action for preventing from going to a war. They're all going to be responsible. Enough of this political nonsense. They don't succeed for take over the mosque. They don't succeed for take over the church. They don't succeed for take over the businesses. They don't succeed for take over the media. They don't succeed for take over the civil society. They don't succeed for take over everything. Everything today in this country is politics. Everything. You will struggle and struggle if your ideology not aligned with the political party within power or the one within opposition. You are constant target in all aspects that you will suffer, they will humiliate you. I'm a victim, clear victim. I've seen it all. Business in this country. Business is closed down when one political party lost power. They make a political again, all the businesses and they close here because the politicians are opening most of them businesses. So they are no longer in power. They're not going to have the contract they used to get. So it's going to close. A new one that emerge, yeah? The one that will be in power, then they start up their own, businesses. Then all the which is wrong. Which is wrong. Which is wrong. Government for ensure that the business community stand independent and gain contracts fairly from society, from government contracts, and create the investment level at the time of peace that all investors will and can therefore invest and give transfer of skills to citizens. Factories, not only Bo, not only McKinney, not only Rosad, not only Rosad, but ensure safe factories and go other side the way, we need. Then we go decongest, you see. Ensure say we get police stations, not police posts, for 15,000 people, police posts, no police station. No, all this unfair. This country problem, the community and the church holds responsibility. When I hold the community, the church and the mosque hold them responsible for the breakdown of society. Each and every one of us emerge from this place. If we dey left it all among each other, then church and mosque, and also in that community, but let we turn against ourselves, then let we hold community the responsible. Community leaders, the youth leaders, women's leaders, the civil society, hold them responsible. Then we will turn to the politicians. We will then civil society meeting. When they plan to do well for this country. Another man among them, they said, it happens with the church, it happens with the mosque, it happens with the community. People don't trust themselves. We lack trust in themselves, we lack confidence in themselves. So for today, I think I need for India. Maybe I will come back. So for now, I need for India. Maybe I will come back.
Hello. As I be promised for come live by 2 o'clock today, but they don't past 2, like 16 after 2 now. I've been promised for Mecca go talk on waiting they go on at the country. Waiting they go on at the country with regards to the fight against COVID-19. Because as of now, everything we do in our life, it's surrounding COVID-19. No other active economic or social activities not to go on any longer because we get an uncertainty, situation within we in the COVID-19. We as a nation go only successful for fight COVID-19 when we work in a coordinated manner, in a coordinated and well-disciplined and structured manner, and crown it all transparent manner. When we're not able to get a well-coordinated, well-structured, and transparent process, then definitely we get to get a very huge tax, for make we go achieve the common goals we now for, fight against the COVID, and try to get life back into, normal situation. I talk about the structure, discipline, and also transparency. The very sad thing that this country, politics don't destroy our livelihood in this country. It don't destroy professionalism in this country. Politics. The word politics don't destroy our livelihood, professionalism, and also how we carry out every pieces of work we do. Let's go down to internal politics and also the external politics. Even party they in power, then they fight themselves. Within themselves, they get different, branches where they fight for superiority. Would I want be the most important person at the party, or would I want succeed the correct leader at the party? And with this, it drop, we progress as a nation, because everything we do, we must tag onto political interests. We're not a tag onto national interest. We're not a fight for, let we say, we achieve and succeed as a nation. But we survive and achieve as a political party. That comes to a point. First time you tell people, then say, if you say make I not get money, let God not answer you. Now that's no longer the case. If you say let person not be politician, you go say let God not answer you, because somebody now in politics control everything. The moment you are in politics, you control everything. You control how people forget job, how for they enroll at university. It's not about merit anymore. And that comes to the fight of COVID. Not who say we for all join hand for fight this coronavirus and play individual roles and for make sure say indeed we join hands together and fight the fight. But we will join hands together and fight the fight when we open up, when we're transparent, when sincerity day. We from the human rights sector, first of all, we get a concern. We get a concern about health workers and other people within a quarantine center we subject to inhuman and degrading treatment. Then are we concerned? It doesn't mean that say when COVID day, the basic rights of all the people then we go in a quarantine center and go be infringed on and with an impunity. So we major concern as a right-based organization now the inhuman treatment, and degrading treatment with some health workers, and also some, and people then where in a quarantine center where they go through. That's a huge concern. It's a human rights concern to we. When people they on the inside and they therefore get the necessary treatment. Coming back to, after we don't raise that concern on right-based issue, The second major concern we get now a disappointment for no say the office of the AG were responsible for draft the regulation and taken to Parliament. Since the day where President of this Republic, President Bio, he can openly and declare state of emergency. In AG, in Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, is still not come up yet with a regulation for give Parliament, for let Parliament pass that. So for let everybody know, say, if you get corona, you fail for declare yourself for call 117, and for let you go to hospital, for let them treat you, you don't commit a crime, and this now you punishment, and this now you go pay as fine, and this now you crime. If you keep COVID person inside your house, you not declare, now this punishment go be liable for you. Now this imprisonment, you go face, or now this fine you go pay, and that fine they go to the consolidated fund of this country. If you also undermine of COVID-19 by any way, this nine you fine, and this nine will be your punishment. Sadly and disgracefully, I'm telling you, the AG through the office, for the government of Sierra Leone, not able for present that. So we dey live in a jungle way under state of emergency that anything the president or anybody for do, now they do. But the actual guidelines, where for don't come, enable up to now that woman able for that office able for presenter to the people of this country. That very disgraceful. It's embarrassing for democracy and the rule of law. It is totally unacceptable. The president get back to a ministers them for letting not take the people of this country for granted. And this is not the coordinated thing that they talk about. When we want to fight a disease like COVID, we for be disciplined,